Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Rando Geek. Okay, so this conversation has been coming up for quite some time now, probably about a year now. There's been a lot of discussions about the possibility of Dish Network and DirecTV coming together as one, offering service under one name, and hopefully giving consumers that like pay per TV better options, better pricing, I guess, better experience overall. Certainly, this hopes to be a good deal for both of these companies. Depending on which direction they go, there's been discussions in the past that maybe DirecTV would go under the Dish Network or EchoStar umbrella, and Dish Network would gain all of DirecTV's customers, which would ultimately benefit Dish financially, right? Getting all those consumers, getting that money every month. But now we're not really sure if that's the direction they may go. They may decide, you know what, we're going to go under the DirecTV umbrella, especially since we've got some updates regarding DirecTV and Disney. So we're not really sure which direction, and this article doesn't actually suggest which order it might happen in if it does indeed happen. Let me be clear, a lot of this is speculation. There's no concrete evidence that this is going to happen anytime soon anyway. It is likely that it will take place at some point because of the fact that it just keeps coming up. We wouldn't hear about these comments constantly if it wasn't something that these two were really considering. DirecTV and Dish Network have both been losing customers rapidly. DirecTV has lost a number of consumers for a number of reasons. One of them being the issue recently with, the struggle to make a solid deal with Disney. Looks like that's done. They just ended what they're saying is a 13-day blackout. Many consumers were worried because a lot of them enjoyed the Disney programming that they were getting with DirecTV. See, a lot of consumers that sign up for cable TV, typically, not always, there's usually a lot of people that watch along with them, right? Not everybody that has cable is usually just one person. Most single households will probably just get some kind of streaming service or watch YouTube, or maybe not even have time to do it because they're so busy working or going to school, whatever. Usually we see, usually consumers that have pay TV, usually there's at least two people in a household, right? So if one person is busy, at least someone else can most likely watch it. Not always the case, but usually, right? That's usually how it works. So with that being said, we have some updates here. Looks like it's been coming up in conversation more, and the conversation has, I guess, raised shares. So it looks like shares of both satellite giants, they're saying, have climbed over 7% or more than 2% respectively. So based on just this conversation. All right, so of course they're saying conversations are in early stages, and according to Bloomberg and Reuters, this could potentially lead to a combined company with around 20 million subscribers. They're saying that this would be a great time because many consumers are leaving pay-per-TV and they're just cutting the cord. They're going to either select streaming services that fit their needs, either content-wise and pricing, or both. And we're seeing a lot of this. Also, consumers are going above that, and some of them are not even paying for anything. They're cutting the cord and then cutting the cord beyond that. And they're either not watching anything or they're just watching YouTube. And some of them, a select few, are paying for YouTube Premium because basically they're treating that like that's their cable. They're getting all their content needs from YouTube. And we're seeing a lot more of this. If you go on YouTube, you're seeing the comments are getting bigger. Not me, not my channel, but, big channels that a lot of people watch, get a lot of views. Even when they go live, you're starting to notice that the live chat rooms are becoming more in demand, more popular, because guess what? Not only do you get to watch content that you now find interesting, but you also get to interact with others. So you can talk to friends, people maybe that you know, people that you've become to know, right? Online. This is 2024. This is the way a lot of people are getting their content now. This is the new kind of cable. This is the new way of doing things. Streaming services are still good. Some people still enjoy cable TV, but we are seeing a major decrease in the amount of consumers signing up for cable. And again, there's so many different ways to watch TV now, watch your content. You can do it through, as I said, YouTube. You can select streaming services that you can pay for. And there's free options now, right? So if you don't want to watch YouTube, or you watch YouTube, but you also want to watch some kind of cable related channels, there's so many free alternatives that you don't have to pay 1 cent. It's exactly like I said, free. And a lot of your cord cutting solution services are offering that. Sling TV has free stream. Philo just launched their own service. Roku has Roku TV channel. There's so many free options. And remember, these are companies that are charging separately for streaming services. But what's happening is they're noticing that there's even a decline in that as well. So they're thinking, well, how can we still make money here? So they're showing the content, a lot of the content, or very similar content to what you would pay for on their paid services for free. And they're just showing you ads. So you're going to watch the ads. You're not going to pay anything. And it's technically just like if you had Dish Network or DirecTV. You may not be getting the exact same programming, but it could be very similar. And in some cases, there are some of those channels available for absolutely free. The same exact channels. You might find a History Channel on some of these free streaming services. You might find Discovery on some of these free streaming services. HGTV. They're out there. And there's other channels on top of that. And you're not paying anything. So it's really difficult for companies like Dish and DirecTV to keep consumers interested when there's just so many ways, so many cheap or free ways to get content in 2024. Now, there are, like I said, quite a few customers that are still interested. Now, these are mostly retainer customers, if you ask me. They're not new customers really coming in. There are some, but I think if we broke it down and we looked at the history of how many of the customers that DirecTV and Dish currently have, how many of them have been with them for quite some time, for a number of reasons. They may enjoy the programming. Like I said, they may have a large household that enjoys the variety of channels. Some people are just old school. They just like cable. That's just what they know. They've been with it and they're okay with paying for it because they can afford it and it doesn't bother them. If you're a rich person, you're going with cable. You're probably not going to cheap out and get some $5 streaming service. You don't care about $100 a month. Most. There are some people that are very selective and very cautious with their money, and they just won't pay for anything regardless of no matter how much money they have. But we're talking about the majority, right? So with that being said, I don't know how effective this merger will actually be overall. I think that this is maybe going to be a temporary band-aid for cable. I think that it will help them early on. I think that both companies will benefit and prosper from this. When the deal strikes, both companies will get paid, and whoever the company decides to operate under will take all of those consumers, and it's their job to try to keep those consumers interested. I don't know how long cable really has, to be honest. So I don't know, other than the fact that these two companies are going to benefit, who else really wants this deal? I know investors want to see this, but like, do consumers really care about cable TV anymore? It's funny. I talk about cord cutting news all the time. I talk about DirecTV, Dish Network. I feel like it's part of the family. It's very relative to wireless. So I'm going to continue to talk about that stuff because to me, I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. I talk about wireless, but I like to give you enough information about things that are related, because at the end of the day, most people that have AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile usually have some kind of streaming service, right? You watch TV, I'm assuming, whether it's through paid TV like DirecTV, Dish Network, or Paramount Plus, or YouTube TV, whatever it is. So, I try to keep it all together, keep you guys in the loop. But I'd really like to know your thoughts on this. For those of you listening, if you have Dish Network, DirecTV, do you think this would really do anything for them? Certainly the companies benefit, but as consumers, do they really want this? Like, I don't think many newer generation people are going to be excited about this. I don't think many of the new generation consumers are really cable people. I think it's all about streaming now, finding the service that you enjoy the most. And keep in mind, this is constantly changing. So that's the thing. That's why we're constantly hearing about a switch up, right? It's like one quarter Paramount is doing well. Next one, it's Disney. It's because, a lot of the content can be repetitive, and sometimes you just want to try something different. Maybe you don't want Paramount Plus this month, so you axe it, you put it on hold for a little, and you go to Netflix. You go back to Netflix. You say, I'm tired of Netflix, I'm going to go to Disney, and you just bounce around. No, I'm going to go to Hulu Plus. And that's the freedom that you have, right? There's no contract, and you can do that. With cable, you're pigeonholed, you're locked in. There's streaming versions of it that don't have contracts, but even those can be a little annoying. Sometimes there's hidden fees, and it's not always easy to get out of. But I'd really like to know your thoughts on this. I definitely wanted to just talk about it. I didn't cover too much of the article. It was more of just me kind of expressing my thought about the whole thing here, the whole possible deal, and also why does it matter? Like, why does it matter if these two merge? Who really cares? Like, in that sense, not like to be, negative about it. I'm saying, like, from a consumer standpoint, like, do consumers care? Like, will these companies actually benefit other than just temporarily putting a Band-Aid on an old wound that is having a difficult time healing because of just the way that things are going? The times have changed, and cable is going to have a lot of work if they really want to stay relative, if they want to remain in the game. They would probably have to skim to a level that it would become unprofitable or very, very little profitable, very little profit earned in order to remain competitive with the other options. Now, the one chance that cable TV has is if they can offer more of like a selective streaming type package at a reasonable price. They can kind of maybe gain some new subs, because the fact that streaming services are starting to get a little bit more expensive now too. But it will still be much cheaper with a streaming service, even a couple of streaming services, versus traditional package pricing on live TV, cable through Dish or DirecTV. So this is the problem here. And just to be fair, a lot of the younger generation just doesn't care about that content as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. I stretched it out, but as usual, I just like to express the vibe of the moment and the conversation here. As always, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.